This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fart. We keeping the foot on the whoop on the next. We keeping the foot on the whoop on the next. And like the Tibetan mass shift that I am, I'm applying what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? Heat versus pipes. Let's talk about it, man. I sat here and I was just listening to Jay-Z and I said, man, that's what that shit feels like, dog. This dude, Jay, he knows the sport, man. When I listen to Jay, it's like the level of standard, dog. It's like, you know there's another energy in the fucking building, dog. I don't know how to explain that shit, but you know the level has stand up. I was just listening. I haven't listened to Jay in a minute, dog. And listening, I was like, oh, that's what that feels like, dog. Like when Batman said that shit in Dark Knight Rises, when Catwoman like disappeared on his ass, he was like, that's what that feels like, dog, because that's what he does to motherfuckers all the time. The thing that people got to understand is true alpha extraordinaires governed by true alpha economics. You could tell they are what they are, man, because they bring up another level of standard. They bring up another aura. They bring up another energy, man. They bring up something to a degree that just, it's hard to explain, dog. You got to be that so that you could understand what that's all about. If you're not that, then you can't get the message, dog. And I can't help you to get the message if you ain't that. If you ain't built that way, you would never understand what it's all about. So listening to Jay-Z it was like iron sharpening iron, dog. Because the good book says, man, when, you know what I'm saying, iron sharpens iron. So a man's countenance is sharpened by his friend, dog. So when I listen to Jay, that shit sharpened me up. Because it's like iron sharpening iron. It's like, oh, that's what that feels like, dog. To see one aura to the next. I don't care what rapper you got out in today's game. None of them got the aura that Jay-Z got, dog. None of them are fucking Jay-Z, man. In today's game, dog. None of them can't see Jay. This dude had the unmitigated gall, the audacity. You guys understand how sick Biggie was, dog? To sit here and say, if I ain't better than Big, I'm the closest one. Boy, move over. Choose Hova, dog. Oh my gosh. When I heard that lyric, I was like, gosh, this dude, the unmitigated or the audacity, that's some shit I would say, man. Because the thing that people gotta understand is, just like there's levels to this beta stuff, there's levels to this alpha stuff, man. Alphas are impacting people in a different way, man. They are so confident in themselves. They don't feel that they're secondary to anybody. But that's when you're at the upper echelon. You got to be at the height of your alpha shit, though. You got to be a true alpha extraordinaire governed by true alpha economics. Everyone's not at the height of their alpha shit. So this is a conversation. When I say this conversational piece, it's for people like a Hino's Sport. It's for people like a Jay-Z. It's for people like a Michael Jordan. It's for people like a Kobe Bryant. It's for people like a Floyd Mayweather. It's for people like a Earl the True Spence. But I said all of this to say this. Marvin Hagler, man, was a true alpha extraordinaire governed by true alpha economics. This guy was the reason why boxers shape themselves and they form themselves and their bodies are holistically made to where these fighters are prepared. See, Marvin Hagler is what Hino's Sport was talking about when he says, you want to understand why the black genetics is the greatest genetics that was ever created? Well, it's because black genetics in of itself is what it is, man. Its greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. Black genetics is a beautiful thing because black genetics represents superiority, man. All of these other genetics out here are inferior genetics. They're inferior genetic pool line. They are dormant genetic pool line. When you do your research, and you've been researching thoroughly, you will understand that the superior genetic pool line comes from Africa, man. The first man and woman came from Africa. Adam and Eve came from Africa, man. You guys have to research to understand the full weight. You guys have to research to understand the full gravity. You guys have to research to understand the full magnitude of what that means, what that looks like. and the delineation, the distinction, the gulf, and the separation that's associated with it, man. We have to ask ourselves these underlying questions. We have to ask ourselves these underlying truths. And what is that? That when it's all said and done, the biggest thing that you guys need to understand, the caveat mindset that you guys need to get is as simple as this, y'all. That Marvin Hagler showed that not only was he physically gifted, but he also put in the physical work to get the job done. When I look at Marvin Hagler, I see a guy who didn't cheat the fucking system. He's the guy that told you, how can you sit here and be willing to get up at 5 a.m. when you sleeping in silk chic pajamas, man? This is what his legacy was all about. Hard work and dedication. Floyd Mayweather and Earl the True Spence are legacy filled up under the Marvin Hagler tutorship. Now I know people are gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where you think Floyd got hard work and dedication? If you ask Floyd himself, he would tell you that he saw the way that Marvin Hagler trained. He saw the work that Marvin Hagler put in. He saw that Marvin Hagler never cheated the system, dog. Name a fight where Marvin Hagler never came in with a fucking 8-pack. Name a fight where Marvin Hagler never came in and did his fucking thing. We see Marvin Hagler's legacy through Floyd via hard work and dedication. We see Marvin Hagler reincarnated through Earl the True Spence, Mr. Tactical Aggression, technical puncher placement, and body snatching work. The levying onslaught of the punishment style, dog. Earl the True Spence is a punisher by fucking trade for a fucking reason, man. Because they call him the truth. Because there's no lies in his damn fist. There's a reason for that, folks. It's because Earl the True Spence put in the work. Earl the True Spence is that dude. Earl the True Spence is that rock star. Earl the True Spence never cheated the fucking system. And when you don't cheat the fucking system will not fucking cheat you. Let me say it again. When you don't cheat the system will not cheat you. That's what's cold-hearted about what Earl the True Spence brought to the table. That's what's unadulterated about what Earl the True Spence brought to the table. That's the cutthroat true teller fashion that's associated with what Earl the True Spence brought to the table. The fact that he learned up under the feet school mastership of Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler represents greatness personification, can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. You know why? Because they try to stop him with Sugar Ray Leonard. They robbed his ass, man. Anyone that knows boxing, if you're not a boxing casual, you know this shit. He beat the shit out of Sugar Ray Leonard, man. He got robbed in that fucking fight. Marvin Hagler was the definition of pain, and more fucking pain, dog. You know, we had Clubber Lang on Rocky 3. But Clubber Lang was just basically a movie iteration of what the real version of that is, and that's Marvin Hagler. My favorite fight of Marvin Hagler was when he fought Tommy Hitman Hearns. Because you know what Marvin Hagler did? He split that motherfucker's wig, man. He showed to you guys that I don't give a flying fuck what you motherfuckers are talking about. I don't give a flying fuck what you Rudy Poo and Plum Brains are talking about. I don't give a flying fuck what you classic Dolce and Troglodytes are talking about. I don't give a flying fuck what you ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetorics are talking about. When it's all said and done, we have to look at the delineation here. We have to look at the distinction here. We have to look at the gulf, and we have to look at the separation. You know what that is, y'all? That Marvin Hagler was told that he had no boxing ability in that fight. That's why I'm laughing, because that fight right there was so prophetic. Hagler versus Hearns is prophetic to what Spence versus Crawford is going to be. Let me say it again. Hagler versus Hearns is so prophetic to what Spence versus Crawford is going to be. Because it's the same bullshit and fuck shit they're saying about Terrence Buck Crawford. When you look at Terrence Buck Crawford, he has the build of Tommy Hitman Hearns. Long fucking reach. Supposedly can box his fucking ass off. But then they fight a brutalizing fighter, a brutalizing style of a Marvin Hagler, of a Earl the True Spence going to be continued. And then they find out that they meet a force of nature that not only is what it is, a force of nature, but it actually can fucking box his ass off. If you guys do your research on that fight, the reason why that's my favorite fight of Marvin Hagler, and Marvin Hagler has so many fucking fights that I really prescribe to and I like, but that one stood out because They said Tommy Hitman Hearns was going to expose Marvin Hagler. They said Tommy Hitman Hearns was going to do Marvin Hagler's ass the fuck up. They said that Tommy Hitman Hearns was going to make Marvin Hagler look and feel like shit. And what ended up happening? What was the caveat of that? Marvin Hagler did Tommy Hitman's ass the fuck up. Marvin Hagler embarrassed Tommy Hitman Hearns in 5 fucking rounds. Made quick work of him. You know why? Because it was a difference in who put the work in the gym. If you do the research, Tommy Hitman Hearns, although he was a gym rat himself too, he wasn't built like fucking Marvin Hagler, man. Marvin Hagler's built special. He's built too big, too tough, and too forward tough. He's the original iteration of that. When we look at Earl the True Spence, he is the remix. He is the second iteration. This is what Marvin Hagler's legacy is. Bernard Hopkins, I'm going to ride a little bit on this one because I got to give Marvin Hagler his just due here, man. Bernard Hopkins, B-Hop, his legacy is one that was inspired by Marvin Hagler. Because B-Hop was all about understanding that the middleweight division, this is why I laugh at Cinnamon Horchata or Cinnamon Dust of a Horchata of Alvarez. Because he doesn't respect the greatness personification that was laid out before his rabbit ass. He doesn't respect greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. Let me say it again. Greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. He's filled with greatness mimication. Because when we look at Cinnamon Dust Horchata of Alvarez, this guy doesn't do heavyweight lifting. This guy's not about real fucking smoke. He's not about real fighting. He's about bullshit and fucking fuck shit. And bullshit begets what? Fucking fuck shit. Let me say it again. Bullshit begets what? Fucking fuck shit. Bernard Hopkins understood what Marvin Hagler meant, and he knew he couldn't do no wrong. See, this is the difference between black fighters and everybody else. This is why I root for my own. Black fighters understand that you gotta put in the work, dog. Black fighters understand that when it's all said and done, you can't cheat the fucking system. Black fighters understand about sparring wars. See, all of these other racial fighters, they don't get this shit. They don't understand that black fighters, they put in the work in sparring so much to a point to where it's like an actual fight. They simulate actual fighting in the ring and sparring. Why do you think Earl the True Spence fights with Jamel Charlo, iron sharpening iron? Why do you think Floyd Mayweather has the doghouse? Where do you think all this shit comes from? It's because they understand that if you can go through the rigors of sparring wars, then when you step into the actual ring, it will be fucking easy. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me. There's no genetics on the planet that beats black genetics. We're the most handsome. We're the most physically dominant. We're the most beautiful. We're the most colorful, dog. We're the most diverse, man. We're the most original. We're the most every fucking thing. You know why? Because our racial bloodline is second to none. And Marvin Hagler used the physical gifts that his racial bloodline gave him, and then he matched the motherfucker with his physical dominance. And that made this guy what we would call a fucking, how do I say this? Special, man. It made him special. That's why I root for my own, man, because I know what we are. I know we are the original people. I know that we are the original dominant. So that's why I laugh when you see these coon fucking buffoons sitting here propping up everybody. Oh, we got to include every fucking body. We got to be about every fucking body. Bull fucking shit. Let a police officer rope your ass up, you coon fucking buffoon. And you got all of them. Sambo motherfuckers, man. All of these motherfuckers that are self-hating of their race. Oh, you know, we're going to shoot down Javante Tank Davis to bring up the super duper hype job variation, Teofimo Lopez. We're going to shoot down Jamal Charlo so we can bring up David Benavidez. This is what they fucking do. Right? But let their ass get holed up by a police officer. You know what they going to tell their ass? You know what the police officer going to tell them? They not gonna tell them that we recognize you as a coon fucking buffoon. You know what they gonna say? Yo, black ass, you have the right to remain fucking silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the fucking court of law. They will look at your black rabbit ass And they will tell your black rabbit ass that I'm going to hold my hip to my holster. I'm going to not give you the benefit of the doubt until you actually show me that you're worth the benefit of the fucking doubt. They're not going to care that you are a coon fucking buffoon on YouTube. See, this is why it doesn't pay off to be a coon fucking buffoon and to be about yours and to be about your people. That's what Marvin Hagler was, man. Marvin Hagler never sold out. Marvin Hagler never cheated the system. Marvin Hagler was about his own, man. And Marvin Hagler was about greatness personification. Can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped because this guy pushed himself. He understood that he had the black physical abilities because he was gifted that way. He was just built for fucking fighting. I mean, look at the guy's body. He's built for the shit. But he put in the work to not only cheat the fact that he was built for the shit. This ain't no Shaquille O'Neal shit where I'm going to cheat the fucking system. This is about I'm built a certain way and I'm going to put in the work to showcase that I'm built a certain way. We seen this with Roy Jones Jr. before Roy Jones Jr. kind of just slipped. His physical dominance and his abilities. All of this shit was basically motivated. All of this shit was inspired by Marvin Hagler. This is his lasting legacy. Andre Ward, always staying in shape, always being in peak condition, always understanding that you got to be on point. Marvin Hagler has inspired people in this aspect. So this is his legacy. His legacy is hard work and fucking dedication. His legacy is body snatcher iteration of original G 1.0. His legacy is you can't sit here and take shit for granted. You always got to go in there and put in the work in the gym, because when you put the work in the gym, you don't have to worry about the results when you step into the ring because you did what you were supposed to. That's what Marvin Hagler represents to me. So when I see Earl the True Spence, I see Marvin Hagler. When I see Floyd Mayweather, when he fought, I see Marvin Hagler. When I see Bernard Hopkins, I saw Marvin Hagler. When I saw Andre Ward, I saw Bernard Hopkins. I saw the legacy that he left, and the legacy that he left is don't cheat the sport of boxing, because if you cheat the sport of boxing, it will fucking cheat you. And Gervonta Tank Davis, as of late, has gotten it. Stop cheating himself. And you see, not only is he relying on physical giftedness abilities, but he's also putting in the work to showcase greatness personification. The Charlo brothers, man. Jamal and Jamel Charlo. That is Marvin Hagler. When have you ever seen the Charlo brothers not in fucking shape? When have you ever seen the Charlo brothers not focused? When have you ever seen the Charlo brothers not on their fucking shit? I don't care what anybody tells me, man. When it comes to fighting, when it comes to sports, period, the black genetic pool line is superior to all pool lines, man. Because we dominate every fucking sport. We're number one at every fucking thing that we do. It's because not only are we physically God-gifted and ability, but we're also, when we put in the work behind that, can't nobody fucking see us. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat truth teller fashion. Marvin Hagler, you get the biggest salute of the day. Rest in peace, and I wish you well. This is He Knows the Sport. Checking out.